How's it going, everybody? Today we are going to be bringing you another review. This is going to be an unboxing and quick look over of the Turtles of Grayskull He-Man. This is Mutant He-Man, and he is looking really cool. You guys know I'm a sucker for like everything He-Man and every variation of He-Man or make of He-Man. I like it and I want it. I don't know, it's a problem. But he is looking super cool. This line is looking super cool. I'm a big fan of the Masters of the Universe figures in this line. I don't really collect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I'm still undecided whether or not I'm going to pick those up. But He-Man definitely had to get him. So if you look at the box, it's really cool. The artwork, the colors, I think the colors are great. They kind of went with that vintage Masters of the Universe theme, but kind of changed it up to some purples and greens, some Ninja Turtle colors. And then you can kind of tell he is a bad guy because we have Shredder and Skeletor both represented up at the top of the box here. And on the good guys, these are different figures. So as we rotate around to the back, and I will put up some pictures of this artwork just so that you can see it better. But as we rotate around to the back, you can see the artwork, you can see the little cross cell, little picture of He-Man, some bunch of words down there. And it's pretty cool. This one does not seem to have a bio for He-Man on it. A lot of times they'll put like a bio down here in the corner, but we don't seem to have that on this one. So let's go ahead and pull this bad boy out of the package and see what we got. There is a comic book in here, and I'm hoping this one's got words because my Man-at-Arms comic did not have any words in it, and I'm not really sure what that's all about. We even got an unpunched card, so it's a shame to ruin it, but let's go ahead and get her popped open. I always start down here at the bottom. There's this little spot. You can kind of get your thumb up under there. It's just, it wants to ruin the whole card. It just does. We gotta just bust it open, guys. So first, I gotta quickly take a look at this comic book just to see if there's words, and no words. So this is gonna be the same comic book that I showed you in the Man-at-Arms video. No words in it, and I was going to do a separate video of these anyway just so it didn't spoil anything, but these do have some really cool artwork in them. If nothing else, cool artwork. We don't know whether it's a cool story because they didn't print the story, but we know it's cool artwork. So then here's He-Man busted out of his little plastic prison, and I have to admit, I really love the color of this guy. I do wish they would have gave him a power sword instead of Spike-Hor's club, but it does match his wrist bracers, his belt, stuff like that. So I see why they did it. I just feel like maybe they could have modified a power sword and gave him something like that. So there's a close-up look at him. And get him ripped out of here. Sorry for the noise. You know, opening these packages is loud. And then yeah, you can turn this part of his bandana so that it can be blowing in the wind one way or the other, however you prefer that to be. We'll go ahead and stand him up here, stood straight up on his own. Pull that out. So yeah, at least it's high quality. It's not super bendy. It feels firm. The points aren't too pointy. Pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell or not from the angle here, but he is like a translucent purple, and I have been 3D printing recently in translucent resin for the first time, and it's really cool. So I mean, if you hold him up to the light, you can see through him in certain places, which is cool. It's not going to pick up on the camera, so I'm not even going to attempt to try that. But let's go ahead and dive down, take a closer look at this guy without me in the video, and let's get our impressions. So I did find that bio online, and here it is. What happens when the most powerful man in the universe is doused with mutagenic ooze from another dimension? Nothing good. With He-Man now a mindless pawn in Skeletor's hand, will this be the end of Eternia? So here we have mutated He-Man pulled out of the box. He stands really well. The translucent purple is looking really good. It almost looks kind of like foggy just because I feel like the color is dense. The bright neon green hair and red eyes are awesome. I feel like this, if it was a little more blue than purple, would be a really cool, maybe Faker custom, just depending on, I know everybody loves Faker and they'll probably bring out a character of Faker anyway, but I get a Faker vibe from him, just due to the color, I guess, and those glowing red eyes. So let's go ahead and take a look at his weapon. He holds it very well, very stiff in his hand. Let's go ahead and set it off to the side though so we can take a look at his articulation. Now his arms do seem to be a little bit longer than the traditional Origins He-Man. I mean, they just look like some long arms, like knees, equal to the knees there. So that is pretty long. As far as articulation, he does have the standard Origins articulation. So we've got the arm will swing all the way around at the shoulder. We do not have a bicep cut. Then we do have a single jointed elbow, as you can see there. His hands come off. Maybe. Ooh, these are stiff. Gotta be careful because I've been hearing people getting their pegs broke, but that will slide off both arms, both hands, I should say, as it just falls off onto the ground. Wow, that's stiff. That's probably the stiffest peg that I've ever worked with. Get a good look at his face here. I'll put up a little close-up of his face too, just so you can get a really close view of it. But man, is this an awesome looking figure. As far as his head should pull off just like normal. Yep, pulls off just like normal. As far as his armor, you just lift up here. And then you're going to want to pull him apart at the waist. Oh, knocking stuff over. Pull him apart at the waist, and then you can just get that armor right off of him. And then this belt will also pop right off, and you have your traditional He-Man-like belt underneath there. So we got mutated He-Man without the armor. We'll take a little closer look at this. It does have raised spikes. Those are cool. The black and orange is different. I wish they would have made it neon green instead of orange, just so it kind of tied in with the rest of the figure. Neon green, or maybe this blue or purple. Almost anything but orange. I don't know. I'm just not feeling the orange. It's really the only thing I would change about this character is I just wouldn't have made that orange, but I am not the design team at Mattel, so we get these kooky, crazy colors, and that kind of goes back to the original line where weapons and accessories were just kind of a different color. So onward with his articulation. You saw his waist pops off, so I'm sure you can imagine it spins all the way around. His head will look left, right. It will do the Exorcist all the way around. You get about that far up and about that far down. As far as posing that way goes, his legs go to about here, and they go out pretty far this way. We do have single articulated knees, just like in the Origins line. I'm used to the Masterverse, but that's okay. And he does have a boot swivel, as well as a rotating ankle. He-Man, why are you falling over? He's drunk with power. So there he is, just kind of like hulking out on everybody. I'll just put his armor back on so we can get one final look. It's so cool how these pieces pop apart and interchange. The customization with them is pretty cool, considering almost all of the characters' pieces will interchange with each other out of the same line. And then a lot of stuff also, I guess technically, a lot of the Masterverse pieces will fit on these guys as well, as far as heads and armor. And then of course the weapons will work. They may seem a little bit long, but they will work. And let's put this in his left hand this time. And there we have Mutant He-Man. I just want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all. And man, he just keeps taking the dive. I wonder what was in that ooze. Something. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell someone you love them. Everybody have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Good ending.